In the quaint town of Willow Creek, nestled amidst serene forests and rolling hills, there lurked a chilling legend known only to its residents, the tale of the Valentine's Day Stalker. Every year, as February 14th approached, whispers of this ominous figure would spread like wildfire, sending shivers down the spines of those who dared to speak its name. It was said that on the stroke of midnight, amidst the soft glow of moonlight, a young couple would vanish without a trace, leaving behind nothing but a single red rose on their doorstep as an eerie farewell. The townsfolk, gripped by fear and superstition, avoided wandering the streets on Valentine's Day, lest they become the next victims of this enigmatic stalker. As the fateful day drew near, a new couple arrived in Willow Creek, unaware of the sinister tales that haunted its streets. Sarah and David, two young lovers seeking solace from the bustling city life, found themselves enchanted by the town's rustic charm. Little did they know that their romantic getaway would soon descend into a nightmare beyond their darkest imaginings. Sarah, with her vibrant laughter, and David, with his gentle demeanor, seemed the epitome of blissful love. They rented a cozy cabin on the outskirts of town, eager to spend Valentine's Day immersed in each other's company. However, as night fell and the moon cast its eerie glow, an unsettling feeling crept into their sanctuary. It began innocently enough, a soft knock on the door, swiftly dismissed as the whispering winds of the night. But as the hours passed, the knocks grew louder, more persistent, echoing through the silence of the night like a harbinger of doom. Sarah clung to David, her heart racing with apprehension, as they braved the darkness together. The following morning, they discovered the ominous sign, a single red rose, placed delicately on their doorstep. Brushing it off as a mere coincidence, they laughed nervously, dismissing the unsettling events of the night before. But the specter of fear lingered in the air, casting a pall over their once idyllic retreat. As Valentine's Day descended upon Willow Creek, the town lay shrouded in an eerie silence, broken only by the faint rustle of leaves in the wind. Sarah and David, oblivious to the impending danger, ventured into town to partake in the festivities, their laughter ringing hollow in the desolate streets. But as evening fell and darkness blanketed the town, a sense of dread washed over them like a tidal wave. The whispers of the townsfolk grew frantic, their faces contorted with fear as they spoke of the Valentine's Day stalker, lurking in the shadows, hungry for blood. Sarah clutched David's hand tightly, her heart pounding in her chest as they hurried back to their cabin, desperate to escape the clutches of the unseen menace. But fate, it seemed, had other plans in store for them. As they reached the safety of their sanctuary, a chilling realization dawned upon them: the cabin, once warm and inviting, now bore the marks of a sinister presence. Furniture lay overturned, windows shattered, and the faint scent of roses hung in the air like a malevolent specter. With trembling hands, Sarah reached for her phone, only to find it dead, its screen ominously blank. Panic seized them both as they realized they were trapped, cut off from the outside world with no means of escape. And as the clock struck midnight, a haunting melody filled the air, sending shivers down their spines. Suddenly, a figure emerged from the darkness, its features obscured by the veil of night. Sarah and David froze in terror as they beheld the form of the Valentine's Day stalker, its eyes gleaming with malevolence, a sinister smile playing upon its lips. In that moment, time stood still as Sarah and David stared into the abyss of their nightmares, their screams swallowed by the darkness that enveloped them. And as the first rays of dawn illuminated the horizon, the town of Willow Creek awoke to an eerie silence, the fate of its latest victims lost to the depths of legend. To this day, the tale of the Valentine's Day stalker remains etched in the annals of Willow Creek's history, a chilling reminder of the darkness that lurks beneath the surface of even the most idyllic of towns. And as February 14th approaches once more, the residents of Willow Creek lock their doors tight, praying that they may never fall prey to the sinister figure that haunts their dreams. In the aftermath of Sarah and David's disappearance, Willow Creek fell into a somber silence, gripped by fear and uncertainty. The authorities launched an extensive search, combing through forests and fields in a desperate bid to uncover any trace of the missing couple, but their efforts proved futile. As weeks turned into months, the memory of Sarah and David faded into the shadows of the town's collective consciousness, relegated to mere whispers and ghostly tales passed down through generations. The Valentine's Day stalker, it seemed, had claimed yet another pair of victims, leaving behind only unanswered questions and lingering dread. And so, life in Willow Creek continued, albeit tinged with an undercurrent of unease. Couples whispered furtively as they passed the abandoned cabin, its shattered windows a grim reminder of the horrors that had unfolded within its walls. And on each Valentine's Day, as the moon cast its eerie glow upon the town, the residents of Willow Creek huddled together, united in their silent vigil against the darkness that lurked just beyond their doorstep. For in the heart of every legend lies a kernel of truth, and in the town of Willow Creek, the legend of the Valentine's Day stalker would forever serve as a chilling reminder of the fragility of love and the darkness that dwells within us all. And though Sarah and David's fate may remain a mystery, their story lives on in the whispers that echo through the streets of Willow Creek, a haunting refrain that lingers long after the last rose has withered and died. Nestled among the whispering pines of Willow Hollow stood the age-old Valentine's Inn, a relic of a bygone era steeped in tales of love and tragedy. With its weathered facade and ivy-clad walls, it exuded an air of faded grandeur, drawing starry-eyed lovers seeking refuge from the chaos of the modern world. As Valentine's Day approached, the innkeeper, Mrs. Abernathy, busied herself with preparations for the annual Valentine's Day weekend retreat, a tradition that had endured for generations. Couples from far and wide flocked to the inn, lured by promises of romantic bliss and whispered promises of everlasting love. Among the guests were Emily and Michael, a young couple whose hearts beat as one amidst the sprawling halls of the inn. Their love, though tender and true, bore the weight of unspoken fears and lingering doubts, a shadow that hung heavy over their once bright future. Upon their arrival, they were greeted warmly by Mrs. Abernathy, whose gentle smile belied the secrets hidden within the inn's walls. She led them to the honeymoon suite, a cozy chamber adorned with flickering candles and fragrant roses, where they would spend the weekend lost in each other's embrace. As night fell and the inn lay shrouded in darkness, Emily and Michael retired to their chamber, eager to begin their romantic escape. But as they drifted into the realm of dreams, a chill wind whispered through the halls, carrying with it the echoes of long-forgotten tragedies. In the depths of the night, Emily awoke to the sound of faint whispers echoing through the darkness. At first, she dismissed them as figments of her imagination, the remnants of a restless mind seeking solace in the arms of sleep. But as the whispers grew louder, more insistent, she could no longer deny their existence. She shook Michael awake, her voice trembling with fear as she recounted the haunting sounds that filled the night. Michael, ever the skeptic, brushed off her concerns, chalking them up to the creaks and groans of an old and settling into slumber. But as the hours passed and the whispers persisted, doubt crept into his mind, a nagging sense of unease that refused to be silenced. Together, they ventured into the darkened halls of the inn, their footsteps muffled by the thick carpet beneath their feet. With each passing moment, the air grew heavier, pregnant with the weight of untold secrets and unspoken sorrows. Shadows danced upon the walls, their movements fluid and graceful, like specters weaving tales of love and loss. As they reached the heart of the inn, they stumbled upon a hidden chamber, its door ajar, beckoning them into its depths. With trepidation, they entered, their hearts pounding in their chests as they beheld the scene before them. The chamber was filled with relics of a bygone era, faded photographs, tattered love letters, and broken dreams scattered across the floor like fallen leaves. And at the center of it all stood a lone figure, her spectral form bathed in moonlight, her eyes haunted by the ghosts of centuries past. She spoke of a love lost to the ravages of time, a tragedy that had unfolded within the very walls of the inn. Her voice was but a whisper, a fleeting echo of a life once lived, yet her words carried the weight of 1,000 lifetimes. As dawn broke and the first light of morning pierced the darkness, Emily and Michael emerged from the chamber, their hearts heavy with the burden of the past. They returned to their chamber, their minds ablaze with thoughts of the specter that haunted the inn's halls. And as they bid farewell to the Valentine's Inn, they carried with them the echoes of its secrets, a reminder that love, though fleeting, endures beyond the confines of time and space. For in the heart of Willow Hollow, amidst the whispering pines and ivy-clad walls, lies a tale as old as time itself, a tale of love lost and love found, of tragedy and triumph, bound together by the threads of destiny and the enduring power of the human heart. As Emily and Michael departed from the Valentine's Inn, a sense of melancholy hung in the air, their hearts heavy with the weight of the inn's haunting past. They exchanged one last glance at the weathered facade, its ivy-clad walls a silent witness to the secrets hidden within. Months passed, and life returned to normalcy for Emily and Michael, yet the memory of their time at the Valentine's Inn lingered like a ghostly whisper in the depths of their minds. They often found themselves lost in reverie, pondering the mysteries of love and loss that had unfolded within its walls. And though they would never forget the specter that haunted the inn's halls, they took solace in the knowledge that their love had endured, unbroken by the trials of the past. For in the end, it was love that conquered all, the love that bound them together, even in the face of darkness and despair. As Valentine's Day approached once more, Emily and Michael returned to Willow Hollow, their hearts filled with hope and longing. They stood before the Valentine's Inn, its weathered facade bathed in the soft glow of moonlight, and whispered a silent prayer for the souls who had come before them. And as they walked hand in hand into the night, the echoes of their footsteps mingled with the whispers of the past, weaving a tapestry of love and longing that stretched beyond the confines of time and space. For in the heart of Willow Hollow, amidst the whispering pines and ivy-clad walls, love would always find a way to endure, forever entwined with the threads of destiny and the enduring magic of Valentine's Day. In the heart of a bustling city stood a quaint antique shop, its shelves lined with treasures from eras long past. Among its myriad artifacts lay a simple locket, its delicate silver chain gleaming softly in the dim light of the shop. Unassuming to the untrained eye, it bore an air of mystery that seemed to beckon to those who dared to gaze upon its beauty. It was here that Sarah first laid eyes upon the locket, drawn to its ethereal allure like a moth to a flame. Entranced by its intricate design and whispered tales of love lost, she knew she had to possess it, a token of affection for her beloved partner, James. As Valentine's Day approached, Sarah presented the locket to James, her heart brimming with anticipation at the prospect of seeing his smile light up with delight. But as James fastened the locket around her neck, a shadow passed over his features, a flicker of unease that sent a chill down Sarah's spine. Brushing off his apprehension as mere superstition, Sarah dismissed his concerns, chalking them up to pre-Valentine's Day jitters. Yet deep down, a seed of doubt had been planted, its roots burrowing deep into the recesses of her mind. As the days passed and Valentine's Day drew near, strange occurrences began to plague Sarah's life with increasing frequency. She would awake in the dead of night to find the locket clutched tightly in her hand, its silver surface cold to the touch. And in the darkness of her dreams, she would hear whispered voices calling out to her, their words lost to the winds of time. Desperate for answers, Sarah delved into the locket's history, uncovering a tale of love and tragedy that spanned centuries. It was said that the locket had once belonged to a young woman named Evelyn, whose life had been cut short by a jealous lover on Valentine's Day, her spirit forever bound to the silver trinket that bore witness to her untimely demise. Terrified by the revelation, Sarah sought to rid herself of the cursed locket, but try as she might, it clung to her with an iron grip, its presence an ever-present reminder of the darkness that lurked within its depths. As Valentine's Day dawned, Sarah's fears reached a fever pitch, her mind consumed by visions of Evelyn's tragic fate. She pleaded with James to help her break the curse, but he dismissed her concerns as mere hysteria, his once loving gaze replaced by a cold indifference that chilled her to the bone. Alone and afraid, Sarah returned to the antique shop where it all began, desperate to find a way to rid herself of the cursed locket once and for all. But as she reached out to place it upon the counter, a voice echoed through the darkness, its words laden with sorrow and regret. It was Evelyn, her spectral form shimmering in the dim light of the shop, her eyes filled with an otherworldly sadness that pierced Sarah's soul. She spoke of a love lost to the ravages of jealousy and betrayal, a love that had condemned her to wander the earth for all eternity, bound to the locket that bore witness to her tragic demise. With tears in her eyes, Sarah pleaded with Evelyn to release her from the curse, to spare her from the same fate that had befallen her so many years ago. And in that moment, a flicker of compassion crossed Evelyn's features, her ghostly form softening with empathy for the young woman before her. With a whispered incantation and a gentle touch, Evelyn severed the ties that bound Sarah to the cursed locket, releasing her from its grasp once and for all. And as Sarah fled from the antique shop, her heart heavy with gratitude, she felt a weight lift from her shoulders, a burden that had plagued her for far too long. As Valentine's Day came to a close, Sarah returned home to James, her spirit renewed by the knowledge that love, true love, could conquer even the darkest of curses. And though the memory of Evelyn and her tragic fate would linger in the recesses of her mind, Sarah knew that she was free to love and be loved without fear of the shadows that once haunted her dreams.